Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. Some editors are failed writers, but so are most writers. A play should give you something to think about. When I see a play and understand it the first time, then I know it can't be much good. Every experience is a paradox in that it means to be absolute and yet is relative in that it somehow always goes beyond itself and yet never escapes itself. What we call the beginning is often the end. And to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start from. Where is the life we have lost in living? Where is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? Where is the knowledge we have lost in information? Genuine poetry can communicate before it is understood. You are the music, while the music lasts. So the lover must struggle for words. Home is where one starts from. So the darkness shall be the light, and the stillness the dancing. I said to my soul, be still and wait without hope, for hope would be hope for the wrong thing. I am an Anglo-Catholic. In religion, a classicist. In literature, an A royalist in politics. If you aren't in over your head, how do you know how tall you are? Anxiety is the hand, maiden of creativity. The last temptation is the greatest treason, to do the right deed for the wrong reason. This is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but a whimper. Humankind cannot bear very much reality. Half of the harm that is done in this world is due to people who want to feel important. They don't mean to do harm, but the harm does not interest them. Where is all the knowledge we lost with information? O Lord, deliver me from the man of excellent intention and impure heart. For the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. I had seen birth and death, but had thought they were different. There is no method but to be very intelligent. Art never improves, but the material of art is never quite the same. It's strange that words are so inadequate, yet, like the asthmatic, struggling for breath, so the lover must struggle for words. My greatest trouble is getting the curtain up and down. The communication of the dead is tongued with fire beyond the language of the living. This love is silent, grows older. I think that what happens early on in life is that at a certain age, one stands still and stagnates. In my beginning is my end. The business of the poet is not to find new emotions, but to use the ordinary ones and, in working them up into poetry, to express feelings which are not in actual emotions at all. April is the cruelest month. There is not a more repulsive spectacle than an old man who will not forsake the world which has already forsaken him. It is only in the world of objects that we have time and space and selves. The progress of an artist is a continual self-sacrifice, a continual extinction of personality. It is obvious that we can no more explain a passion to a person who has never experienced it than we can explain light to the blind. Knowledge is invariably a matter of degree. You cannot put your finger upon even the simplest datum and say this: we know. All significant truths are private truths. As they become public, they cease to become truths. They become facts, or at best, part of the public character, or at worst, catchwords. For love would be love of the wrong thing there is, yet faith, but the faith and the love and the hope are all in the waiting. tiger springs in. The new year. Us. He devours. We know too much, and our television is a medium. Our literature is a substitute. Permits millions of people, and so is to listen to the same joke at the same time, and yet remain lonesome. The bad poet is usually unconscious where he ought to be conscious, and conscious where he ought to be unconscious. A toothache or a violent passion is not necessarily diminished by our knowledge of its causes, its character, its importance, or insignificance. Our difficulties of the moment must always be dealt with somehow. But our permanent difficulties are difficulties of every moment. People to whom nothing has ever happened cannot understand the unimportance of events. Our high respect for a well read person is praise enough for literature. The most important thing for poets to do is to write as little as possible. Business today consists in persuading crowds. The Nobel is a ticket to one's own funeral. No one has ever done anything after he got it. The soul is so far from being a monad that we have not only to interpret other souls to ourself, but to interpret ourself to ourself. There is no absolute point of view from which real and ideal can be finally separated and labeled. Playwriting gets into your blood and you can't stop it. At least not until the producers or the public tell you to. And they write innumerable books, being too vain and distracted for silence, seeking everyone after his own elevation and dodging his emptiness. Poetry should help, not only to refine the language of the time, but to prevent it from changing too rapidly. The last thing one discovers in composing a work is what to put first. If you desire to drain to the dregs the fullest cup of scorn and hatred that a fellow human being can pour out for you, let a young mother hear you call dear baby it. Where there is no temple, there shall be no homes. Immature poets imitate, mature poets steal. It's not wise to violate rules until you know how to observe them. Wake without thought, for you are not ready for thought. I have measured out my life with coffee spoons. I will show you fear in a handful of dust. Let's not be narrow, nasty, and negative.